Every day, millions of people come to YouTube searching for solutions on problems they're currently facing. I'm going to show you how you can attract, capture, and nurture your ideal prospects who are searching for problems or solutions you can solve for them simply by creating VSL content on YouTube. This is a method that hundreds of businesses and business owners are using right now. People like Iman Gadji, Alex Hermosi, Dan Koh, and also businesses like Instantly and Clay, whose content I've actually helped produce. And what they all have in common is that they all have something to sell, and they simply make content for people who would benefit from the services and products that they're selling. That's it. But first, why should you even be focusing on this when there are other proven methods out there? The main difference is that with cold email, you're putting time, energy, money, and focus into really getting a single outcome. For example, you can send 10,000 emails and expect about 50 or 100 booked calls for a higher ticket offer. But after all of those emails are sent and calls are booked, there's nothing really for you to do but try to find an extra 10,000 contacts that you can spam emails to. Where with creating content on YouTube, you only have to put energy into producing a VSL once, upload it, and basically kick your feet up, because if you do everything correctly, that video will automatically continue to stack targeted views every single day in perpetuity for an audience that is literally searching for the solution that you are selling. Simply put, if you're a business owner, you're missing out big time if you're not creating good VSL content on YouTube right now. There's simply too much money to be made from this method for you to ignore. So I boiled down my entire VSL method into a 7-step formula for you. The same method that I used to help over 30 businesses grow and market themselves on YouTube, and in return, making them hundreds of thousands of dollars of extra MRR basically on autopilot. Number one, identify exactly what your target audience is. You need to know exactly who you want to attract with your VSLs. And this is really important because this will dictate how you want to approach production later on. For example, if your offer is more lower ticket, you would probably want to aim for a broader audience with short, snappy, and faster paced content. And if you're selling a more complicated high ticket offer, you can also experiment with creating longer form course type content that's geared towards bringing as much value as possible to your prospects, and in return nurturing them further. They both serve a similar purpose. They will just generate different quality leads based on the packaging and the actual content itself. Number two, boil down your offer to a common pain point and create your mission around that. You need to have your offer simplified down to a single or a couple search terms that you can then target on YouTube. So for example, if you're offering any form of lead generation services, that will be the search term that you're going to be targeting. And based on that, you can position your content in a certain way around the details of your offer. You should also create a mission around why you're pushing out your experience, expertise, and knowledge out into the world. This is something that needs to be rememberable and is something that will make you stand out from your competition and also help remove any negative connotation that some viewers may have. Number three, identify a gap in the market for your specific niche and create a compelling angle with which you will present your offer. So now, based on your audience and the common pain point that you're solving, you need to make sure to differentiate yourself from any competition. Ideally, you would want to hit an angle with zero competition, which is highly unlikely. So you really have two options. You can try and frame your offer in a way that differentiates it from your competition, or better yet, simply make better content from your competition. The thing is, if there's a demand for a certain type of content on YouTube, there will always be content made for that demand. Your goal is to simply make better content than anybody else in your niche, and you will win by a landslide, just based off the fact that YouTube will much rather promote your better video than the crappy competition videos. Now, having that in mind, this next step is crucial. Number four, you need to do market research and find out what is working currently on YouTube by identifying outlier videos. So using your niche, target audience, search term, and your offer, start researching for content in your niche. Your goal here is to locate outlier videos which have more views and engagement from the creator's usual content that they post, meaning that those videos did something different that made them successful on YouTube. And we need to find out what. But there are a few crucial things that you need to be on the lookout for. Viral title ideas. Look for common wording used, layout of the titles, and what is the premise behind how the title was crafted. An effective viral title needs to have these elements: dream outcome plus perceived likelihood of achievement divided by time delay plus effort and sacrifice equals value. You should pause the video right here and write this down. Now, not every viral title will have all four because it's kind of hard to fit everything in together. But as long as all of these elements are taken into account, you shouldn't have any issues identifying and then later creating viral title ideas. Then you also want to be on the lookout for repeating viral thumbnail designs. Make sure to keep a close eye on frequently used assets, designs, and how each viral thumbnail was crafted. And then the third thing you want to be on the lookout for is the actual value presented in the video. This is really important because you actually want to watch these outlier videos to really try to understand what made them different. And while doing so, make sure to write down key points, insights, and anything that you really deem valuable. And also a quick tip, don't forget to check out the actual comment sections from these videos. This is a great way for you to see if there's something that people are looking for that the current videos on the market are not providing. Number 5, using all of these insights, create the script and packaging for your VSL. So use the notes you've taken and start creating a rough outline on your own on what information you want to present in your video. But make sure to use your own genius and experience and inject those by adding extra points and drops of wisdom. Don't settle for sharing surface level insights, and really do your best to think, how can I provide as much value as possible to my viewers? Because remember, your goal is to assert yourself as an authority within your niche and establish trust with your prospects first, and then over time warm them up into eventually becoming paying customers. Now, that being said, how you write your script and reveal all of the information also needs to be done with purpose. Because remember how I mentioned that depending on the audience you want to attract based on your offer, the actual VSL will need to be structured differently. Usually longer form content that reveals a lot of value throughout tends to nurture higher intent leads, while more broad, shorter content can be used to attract a wider audience as a lead magnet that can be funneled into a separate landing page, for example. Don't forget to use all the notes and insights you have gathered so far, as well as the formula I showed you before, and use those to create a viral title idea and a couple of thumbnail variants that you can then later A/B test when uploading your video. Number 6, once you have your script written out, all you have to do is sit down and record the actual content for the VSL. Depending on what type of VSL you're making, you can record just a roll and edit all examples and showcases in post, or you can also record your screen as well, going through a presentation, for example, to make the video easier to follow. Or you can record your screen doing what you're actually talking about and giving a real-time example to the viewer. And really, all of these will work in their respective use cases. Now, if you're still thinking about how long you should make your videos, there's a popular saying that goes like this: the length for a VSL should be exactly how much is necessary and not a second longer. Sorry, I really can't give you an answer without more context. And then finally, number 7, once you have everything recorded, this last step is arguably the most important one. When it comes to editing, you need to keep a few things in mind. Your VSL should have 3 clear sections: the hook, the body, and the CTA. When editing the hook, utilize higher energy music and retention editing tactics, while focusing on validating to the viewer that what they clicked on is what the video is going to be all about. You can do this by showing snippets of what's going to happen later in the video and creating a sort of spoiler intro where you don't really want to reveal anything and instead just spark the curiosity from the viewer. Now, for the body, you want to make it slower paced because you don't want to overstimulate the viewer, while the CTA should be faster paced and more engaging because we want to make sure that the viewer is paying attention there. But this next tip I'm going to talk about is especially important and can really make or break your whole VSL. You really need to focus on removing any piece of dialogue throughout the project that doesn't directly add value to the video. So remove any repetitions, tangents, but also go a step further and remove any breaths, gaps, and stutters as well to make the video flow better. And when it comes to visuals, I recommend staying away from Iman-Gaji style editing and instead focus on directly showing to the viewer what is actually being talked about. If you're talking about scraping leads, don't show a bunch of email icons on screen and instead show yourself actually scraping those leads. This way, your visual is more effective, educational, and entertaining as well. And boom, if you've done everything correctly so far, you should now have a VSL that will automatically collect inbound leads on Autopilot as long as the video is up on YouTube. But pay attention, watch this video right here where I will show you exactly step by step how to generate viral YouTube VSL ideas, write the script, and fully edit your VSL from scratch. See you there.